All right, so we're going to be talking about sumo squat. Okay, so obviously you want to get into proper stance. So proper stance for a sumo squat. Clearly there's different opinions, but I find for me what works best is feet slightly outside of shoulder width. I typically go about 2 inches outside of my shoulders. Okay, so yeah, I would still go slightly wider than where you currently are. Okay, and then what you want to do is point your toes in a V. Okay, so right now they're still not in a V. Yeah, point the left one slightly more. Perfect. Cool. So essentially what you want is you want those knees traveling outwards, away from each other. The first point that you're gonna break is at the hips. We're gonna break at the hips. So what that means is the movement is gonna originate from the hips. No, that was basically your knees that just broke. So what I mean is when you say break from the hips is assuming I have some kind of a elastic band and I pull her backwards, then it's the hips that's gonna break going backwards. Go. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good. Come back up. Now we've already done this. Of course, we do this with her. I do this with her. So I want to see show me the wrong form first. Okay, and back up. Keep going. Do it again. Yeah, one more. Okay, hold right there. Now the reason why this is wrong is pardon?
It hurts.
Go back up. The reason why that is wrong is because you don't want your tailbone, your coccyx, sticking underneath. Okay, you don't want it rounding. You don't want it rounding. What you want is a neutral spine. Go back down. And right there. Good. So you want that spine to be straight the entire time. Okay, all the way down to here. And then if you go too low, you see it's starting to curve. It's going to curve underneath. What happens when it curves underneath is you're going to disengage at the glutes. You don't want to disengage. You want pressure on here the entire time. Go back up, do 2 reps. Proper form. Okay. Now, when I'm saying proper form, another thing that you can use to actually know what a proper form is a cup of tea. Okay? So you take that cup of tea, think positive, go down into that squat, and you want to positively place that right there. It should be a tabletop. If it were not a tabletop, it will spill. But because I can leave that there, then you know that she's at that tabletop position. And it's okay. If there's any spills, she'll clean it up. No worries. Okay? Okay, so where we're at, go back down to that squat. Hold. You want to be able to leave that on there just like that. Okay? That's your tabletop when you're doing actually even your squat. You don't want to go lower. Go. You don't really want to be here. You can if you have the mobility down here on your lower back. If your lower, as long as the point is, you can come back up. The point is, as long as your tailbone's not dipping underneath, then you can go as low as that. But if your tailbone is starting to curve underneath, then you're going too low. So then the terminology ass to grass doesn't actually apply to you, it actually doesn't apply to a lot of people. Basically what you want is that tabletop. You want your thighs to be parallel with the floor. You don't want it like so, Okay, you want it parallel to the floor. Another thing we're gonna do here is the how you should press your feet into the floor. Okay, so assuming these are your 2 feet, you've got your left foot and then you've got your other left foot. Okay, what you do is you press them into the floor and push outwards laterally. Okay, outside from the center of your body into the floor and outwards. We're gonna be using these green towels to, oh, I need my glasses. We're gonna use the green towels to explain what I mean when I say we're gonna be pushing outwards. Okay, so step onto your towels, maybe, yeah. Okay, so we've got towel A and towel B. What we're doing when we're pressing into the floor, so go down to that squat. Yeah, go down to the squat. As you come up, press. It should almost feel like the towel should move. Press. Yeah. There's a slight movement. Okay, because what she's doing is she's pressing her feet down and outwards. Down and outwards. Do it again. Down, push up. Another thing you can do is called the activation. So stay at the top and then just activate by pulsing outwards. Okay, so here, let me see if I can show you what I mean by the pulse. All right, so this is where we're at. Okay, so I'm just standing naturally. What I'm gonna do is from here, I'm gonna push my feet down and into the floor, and you should see these activate. Okay, just right there. So there's that activation that you can just, stay here and do. This in itself is a workout. Now, to actually get the best out of your activation, you actually want to be in kind of a anterior pelvic tilt. So if I'm doing it from the side, right, I want to be here as I do my activation. Okay, so from here, so I don't want to be here, I want to be here. I don't know if you can hear me at this point. Okay, let's do that again. So from here, press down into the floor, stay anterior pelvic tilt slightly, and then press outwards. Press outwards, outwards, outwards. If I were standing on these pipes and I press, the harder I press, I should be getting some movement until rah. So basically that's your sumo squat. Same thing's going to apply when you're doing the deadlift anyway, because same thing is going to apply, because essentially you're going to have the dumbbells or barbells in front of you, and then the exact same thing is going to apply. The biggest thing you should also look out for is try and make sure that your knees are not traveling too far forward, but rather, if anything, they should be slightly backwards. So if you're watching me from the side, so side profile of the deadlift, so if I'm here, like so, as I go down, so what I meant by breaking with the hips is what's going to travel backwards first. Okay, so I'm not breaking at the knees. The knees is not what's traveling forwards. The hips is what's traveling backwards. So I'm going to go here, drop, 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 drop. See how like here is still slightly straight and I'm still outwards. Okay, so I don't want to be here. I want to be here. And then from here, drive. So that's the deadlift, right? From here, drive. Same thing if I'm doing the squat. I just have the dumbbells up here and drive. Up here and drive. Okay, same thing from here to there. All right, so that's your 5-minute video for your what's it called, sumo deadlift, sumo squat. Let me know how it goes, and if you like that video, I'll do some more. Take care.